Hi everyone, it's Lauren Jobson here, and I'm so excited and honored to have Christie Moran from Holistic Life Transformations. I have a conversation with me today. She actually reached out and said, "Hey Lauren, can we get together? I'd love to catch you up on what I've been up to since we met at an advanced training. Actually, we were together at level 2, I believe, and level 1 in archetypal coaching. So we met, of course, during level 1, but I also remember, Christy, you did do level 2, didn't you, with the horses?
I did. It was amazing. That
Yeah.
whole experience right through level 1 and level 2, Matrix Therapies, all of those things was just opening up a whole new world to me. It was such a great adventure.
This is it. And I said, I met you at level 2, but of course I met you at level 1. But it just, level 2 really sticks in my mind of when we connected, truly, because I was teacher for level 1. And then I was teaching a little bit at level 2, but we were sharing that experience together as well at level 2. Yes, because Pip Mackay still teaches level 2. Look, we're using these words first up for the people watching. What is level 1, level 2? It's archetypal coaching. So level 1 consists of passion and purpose coaching, masculine and feminine coaching, and advanced matrix therapies coaching. And so we group that together because we do really highly recommend people do those three-day workshops because it's that holistic package. And then we offer level 2, which is something else completely.
Yeah.
You wanted to catch me up a bit more specifically on how level 1 has changed your life, and you've written a book, you collaborated on a book with 19 other beautiful women, Phoenix Rising. I want to hear about that. And I'd love to hear where you're at around the time of that training. You were saying you were at the corporate space. And what's been going on for you?
Yeah, I was still in the corporate environment, and I was not feeling fulfilled and happy in the role. I had been in the past. I had loved my job, but I'd gotten to a point where it just wasn't fulfilling anymore. The role had changed. I had grown. And then as I started to go through level 1 and discover more of me, let go of the crap that was getting in the way, it honestly got harder and harder to stay in that corporate job.
Right. Yeah.
Because all of the possibilities started to open up. It was this whole new world that I didn't even know existed, and it was becoming available to me.
Right.
And so that really started that ball rolling as being able to see an actual way forward. Because even though I wasn't happy in corporate, it was like, I don't want to be doing this, but I don't really have a vehicle out of doing that and finding something that I love, something that I could really enjoy, and discovering this world.
That's it. Not even having a vision or an idea of what else is out there anyway. Like, if this is something I don't want, well, what do I want instead?
That's right. And I was looking at things like property development, and I was looking at that because it was like, oh, well, if I can become financially free, then I can get to do what I love. And as soon as I started going through this course, which I had come across in a property seminar, and I went, oh, I think I need some of that. I've got to get over this fear of, stepping out and doing something different. And as I did more, I realized that it wasn't property that I wanted to do. That wasn't actually going to give me the life of fulfillment and happiness that I was looking for. And I have been a coach for 20 years in corporate. And so it was a real light bulb moment for me. It's like, no, if I actually leave and do property, I will no longer get to do coaching, which I do love that part of the job. And so as I move forward through level 1 and level 2, it was like, I can actually still do coaching, but I can do it in a more fulfilling way where I actually get to make a difference to people's lives and really help them. And that was what was so hard in corporate. It was like I saw all of these. I was a regional manager. So I saw all of these people in front of me struggling at work, not doing what they needed to do, or not being able to do what they needed to do. And it often had nothing to do with work.
Right.
And as I learned these skills, it was like, oh, I can help these people, but it's not appropriate. It's not the right environment for it. That's not what they're there for. And so it was just becoming more and more unfulfilling, being trapped where I couldn't use all of my skills and abilities to really impact people's lives.
Right. And where your passion was, where you found that your heart was in the essence, because through our philosophy in passion and purpose is it's not so much about what you do that's your purpose and passion. It's what you can bring in the essence and the meaning you put behind what you do. So that in this sense, I'm hearing you could do some form of leadership and coaching, but you couldn't do the real heartfelt transformational coaching that you found where your heart lies.
Yeah, I obviously knew somewhere inside of me that there was something else possible, and that was what was really keeping me searching. But I hadn't found it, and until I discovered this work and started in level 1, I really had no idea of the possibilities. Yeah, so it was so magical and so amazing just to start to uncover this whole new world.
Fantastic. And you've mentioned to me before about when you were writing your book, your chapter in the book, Phoenix Rising. You mentioned Matrix Therapies specifically. Is that right?
Yeah,
Can you tell us?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in Phoenix Rising, I share the story of my marriage and that ending. And as a part of that process, feeling really unworthy, feeling like I was the worst person in the world, and I think we'll go there at some point.
Yeah.
And when I experienced Matrix Therapies, it was so profound because it was that first moment where I actually felt worthy. I'd done a lot of reading and a lot of personal development, and I knew on a logical level that I was worthy.
Yes. Okay.
But I didn't feel it. And so it wasn't until I went through that process with Matrix Therapies and going back and being able to resource the younger version of me and coming out of that on the other side. And it was like, oh my God, like I actually feel worthy.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was speechless. I was walking around going, no, but you don't get it. Like, actually feel worthy.
That's just fabulous. And can you share with us like what came of that then, because you finally felt that worthiness? What happened after that?
Yeah, it was really that first stepping stone to really back myself and go, you know what, I can do this, and I deserve to be happy, because that was a real a real roadblock where, as a mom, and I know all of us do it, we put our kids first, we put our husbands first, we put everybody first, and we tend to come last. And for me, it was, I wanted everybody else to be happy so that then I could be happy. And realizing that it doesn't actually work.
No.
And I needed to look at making myself happy first. That was like, wow, that's tough. And so being able to be in this space where it's like, I finally feel worthy of actually being happy, of actually putting myself first. That really, really was that first step in me starting to move forward and make the decisions to go, you know what? Life might look perfect on the outside. I might have a great job and be getting great money, and we're building our dream house, and, we've got the family and the relationship. All of that was beautiful, but I wasn't happy. And so for me to make that decision to leave corporate, it meant that we also couldn't build the dream house. It was like, well, that needs to pause so that I can go out and follow my dreams and start my business. And so it wasn't just, choosing a different career. It really was, impacting the whole family.
Right.
And so for me to go, okay, we're not building the dream house right now because I want to be happy.
Yes. What a test of that. Your conviction and belief that came with that. That's great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, but it was so good because my daughter at the time was 16, or 15 and a half, 16. And she said to me, Mum, but you can't just leave your job. We've got a mortgage.
Right.
You've got responsibilities. You can't just up and leave. And it was an interesting moment because I was really proud of her for having such a responsible view of life at that age.
Yes.
And then at the same time, it made me really sad because it showed me that what I had been teaching her was to put responsibilities ahead of happiness.
Right.
and following your dreams and all of those things. And I was like, no, I want my kids to follow their dreams.
Yes.
I want them to live a happy life. I don't want them to be making choices just so that they can pay the bills and be responsible.
Right. So I do want to say, like, that was your choice for you. Like in our work, we actually encourage people to keep the security, and just so you know, we're out in our messaging, like people listening. Nowhere in our trainings are we saying, right, guys, to live your passion purpose, you've got to dump everything and leave everything and forget responsibility.
No.
Just in Christie's example, right? That was you, and you were working that out for yourself. That's actually quite unique from what we would normally have people
absolutely
do.
Absolutely. And that was definitely that was definitely unique for me. And I was in a very intense role. And so for me, I was putting everything into that role, and it was a lot of hours and a lot of energy going into that. So for me, I needed to make that choice to go, can I really do both? Can I start my business and stay in that role? And I knew for me that I wouldn't be doing either of them well.
Wow.
And so it was about looking at, well, how do I make this work in a way that actually works for me and my family, and that bigger picture.
And you make a really good point. Like, I totally want to honor what you were absolutely saying about what you want to teach your children, and that's such a big thing of our life as parents, isn't it? That's important to us, about what we want to inspire for our children. We know that we are not necessarily always their teacher, right? They're here to teach us, yet we like to inspire and lead the way. And that was really something for you, where you were thinking, oh, what have I inspired, and can I inspire differently? And that's really such a good clarification too, because we do speak about, whilst you've got your security job, if you're picking up this passion in coaching, say, or something like that, can you find a way to do both? And we say about doing both, and then organically it will work out. But that's such a good clarification, that you just felt for you that wasn't possible. And you followed your heart. And what's happened? Tell us more. What's going on?
It's been an interesting couple of years, I can tell you that. I handed in my resignation, and my boss, of course, is like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, well, I'm starting my own business. I'm going to be, doing life coaching. And he's like, oh, what's it all going to look like? And I'm like, well, don't know yet.
You need the freedom to work that out.
So it was quite surreal, sort of, letting him know that I was resigning. It was such a weight lifted off my shoulders. And I was so excited, but at the same time, it's like, oh gosh, I've just left a really great job, a secure job, for this idea of what I want to do. And so I was very excited. I finished up on the 28th of February, and then I hired an office space, and the lease was 1st of March. And about 2 weeks later, we went into our first lockdown for COVID. And it was like, oh no, what am I going to do? I planned to have a face-to-face business.
Right.
And that was obviously, not going to work any longer. So there was lots of pivoting and having a look at how else can I do this. And to be honest, I think, I wouldn't be where I am today had I have not had those challenges to go through, because I really did need to do the work, push myself out of my comfort zone, let go of the stuff that was holding me back, and keep moving forward and experiencing new things and being seen on another level. And all of that really led up to having the confidence to write my story and share that in Phoenix Rising.
Beautiful.
I don't think that would have happened had I've been doing that face-to-face business that I had planned on.
Wow.
So it was all of these experiences and challenges that really led to that place. And it's been a beautiful journey to go on, and writing my story and sharing that with 19 other women. And it's all about, women who have claimed their power, to take their place. And we were all on the same page as far as, what we wanted to achieve from sharing our stories. And that really was to help people that are feeling stuck in their own life, that are going through an experience and are feeling alone.
Right.
And we wanted to share our stories and say, you know, you're not alone, no matter what you're going through. There
Yeah.
are other people out there that have been through it, that are going through it. You know, there is a way through it.
Yes.
There is other possibilities. And there's people out there that can support you. So it was just a beautiful journey to go on and be able to share that book, and now have people reaching out to me going, oh, I've just read your story and thank you so much for sharing it. And you know, it wasn't easy to share.
No,
You
it's
know,
not. I'm writing a book
yeah.
and I'm sharing. It's a bit memoir-like too, because each chapter starts with a different part of my story. So I
Yes.
can really understand what you're saying, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. I know, I remember I'd done an interview about the book, and my video editor had cut it up and sent it back to me to review, and I pressed play, and the first thing that it says is, I loved my husband, but I wasn't in love with my husband. And I
Right.
had a complete meltdown. I was like, ah! And I pressed stop, and my daughter was like, what's going on? What are you doing? And I'm like,
Yes,
that was a lot.
that is a
That was very
lot.
much in that case.
Oh, I hear you. You know, we all have stories, don't we? And stories involve other people. And when
Yeah.
you're putting it out there in a book and then promoting the book, we feel all the feels, not just for us, but then how others are going to perceive it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it needed to be that. And you know, when I'd finished writing my draft and I'd sent it to my mum for feedback, and she rang me and she said, oh, it's very open and vulnerable.
Okay.
Are you sure you want to share that? And I went, well, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
You know, if I can't be open and vulnerable, then the people going through what I was going through aren't going to connect with it. They're still going to feel alone.
Yes, exactly.
And the whole purpose of doing it was so they didn't feel alone. So it was like, I need to be honest and I need to be vulnerable and open and share what I really felt. And yeah, it's not comfortable.
That's right. And so I think you make a really good point around, we all go through stuff. And even as life coaches, if that's what we call ourselves, I might call myself like a complementary or alternative therapist and whatever we call ourselves, but we support people to help them shift their mindsets, get different perspectives, clear stuff from their unconscious mind, really truly resolve those blocks, so that, as you were saying about your worthiness piece, really stepping and feeling into that. We do a lot to help others, and we all are human and go through stuff. And what I just want to point out to you, Christie, so beautiful, like what I heard so beautifully is, you're starting your coaching business and then you're going through these challenges with the COVID and so forth. And you speak about how those challenges, in fact, led you to become who you are today. And you're giving them appreciation and grace. And you have grace for that. Like, all credit to you. That's right. I want to give this message that coaches are not here saying, hey, we're perfect and we have all the skills and the answers and the advice, right? We're not that, are we? But you say so beautifully, it's about knowing people are not alone and there is support, and there's wonderful support that perhaps a lot of people don't even quite fully understand how much that support can actually totally change their experience and their life.
Yeah.
And we're so blessed we now get to, I've been forever blessed around being able to teach for coaches and coach myself. It's such an honor to be able to do that.
It is. Yeah. Seeing somebody's face come to life and their eyes light up as they start to realize that something else is possible, and they go out and they start creating this different life and different experiences. And there's just nothing like it.
That's right. That's right. Christie, is there anything else before we wrap up today's conversation? Is there anything else you feel you want to share?
No, I just really want to thank you, Lauren. You know, I went through the Matrix Therapies training with you, and you know, it is scary, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, going through the learning and looking at our own stuff and letting go of it. And you create such a safe, comfortable space where, you know, everybody felt really comfortable and safe and were able to be open and vulnerable and get the support that they needed in it. So they were able to go through it comfortably, but also learn the tools to be able to then go and help others. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you for creating such a beautiful space. Yeah.
Oh, that means a lot to me. Thank you. I can never tire of hearing that, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that feedback so much. That's really important to me. People feel that way.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you that you're shining a light for other people and living your passion, your purpose, and stepping into that more and more. So you offer coaching packages and things now, don't you?
I do, yes. I love working with people one-on-one. That is my favorite thing to do. It really is, having that one-on-one connection and really seeing them experience that shift and change is just, amazing for me. So I work with people who are really, they've reached a crossroads, and they know that the life they've been living, the career, the relationship, it's not what they want. But quite often they don't know how to have something else. They don't know what that something else even is, and if it's possible. And so I really work with them to get that clarity around what is that passion, what is that purpose, what do we want life to actually look like, and help them to create that, let go of everything that's getting in the way, and start to live this new beautiful life that they actually get to be happy in.
Oh, that's fabulous. And do you do it online now because the face-to-face doesn't work, or what's happening there?
Yes, I do both. Zoom's been amazing. I'm so grateful that we have had Zoom to carry us through the last couple of years. But I still also offer one-on-one coaching in Newcastle as well, face-to-face in Newcastle.
In New South Wales. Yes. Oh, that's good. I was going to ask you where you were located. Wonderful. And people can look up your website as Holistic Life Transformations, or your name, and they'll find your website there.
They absolutely will. Yeah, you can find me on website, Facebook, everywhere.
Good. Yeah, that's it. Oh, Christie, thanks for sharing what you have today. It's been so amazing to connect. Thanks everyone for listening.